My next guest, well, needs no introduction, but we're going to give her one anyway. She was the canary in the coal mine for the populist conservative movement long before any of us imagined a Trump candidacy or presidency. She stood proudly for conservatism when the Republican Party often did not. She's the former governor of Alaska, where she made history as the youngest and first female governor in her state. She's a best-selling author of books like Going Rogue and America by Heart. She's also the first woman ever to have run on the Republican Party presidential ticket, on which she ran for vice president in 2008. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome a dear friend and a wonderful patriot, Governor Sarah Palin. I think this audience loves you, Governor. I think they like you a lot.
You guys, and I'll get to meet some of them after.
You know, that's exceptional. You have agreed to go and meet the audience after the show, and that is so kind of you to do that. But, you know, I've known you now for a long time, I guess even before probably 2007. And you've always been that kind of a gracious person. And you lit up the Republican Party back in 2008 when we really needed it. And
it was a curiosity factor, I guess, that was...
and for that, you know, the media just loved you, didn't they?
Oh, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it was...
brutal.
It was brutal, but you stood and took it and gave right back to them. Mm-hmm. That's hard, isn't it?
Well, when you know that you're speaking for the people, it's not that hard, you know, to stand up there and fight for what's right, especially when you know that the media... used to be that they were like the referee, right?
Yeah.
And they would just give the facts. I have a journalism degree, and I learned the who, what, where, when, and why of writing and reporting. But when you know that they no longer are a referee, but they're very, very one-sided, you know you have nothing to lose but get out there and fight for what's right and speak truth. And then the public, you know, they're smart enough to know what's going on.
Well, I think they are, and I think they're becoming even smarter, and they realize that when they only hear one side of the story and the other side is horribly suppressed, they start looking for the answers for themselves.
Yeah.
And I hope that really happens. Yeah. Your state's one of the biggest energy states in the country. Alaska has so much energy. When Joe Biden took office, one of the first things he did was turn the spigots off, and we went from energy independence to begging people like Saudi Arabia for fuel.
Exactly.
Why is energy so important in this country? You understand it. Most people probably have not.
I do understand it. It's my baby because I understand the inherent link between energy and security and energy and prosperity. And our country, our state, especially Alaska, is so blessed with natural resources. God just dumped these resources for responsible use of mankind. So it was tragic what Biden has done to our previous position of being energy independent. It's exactly as you're explaining. We're hat in hand now to our enemies, asking them to produce for us. Yeah. We have the workforce, we have the technology, we have the regulations to keep everybody and the environment safe. Instead, we're going overseas asking them. It's horrible what's going on with our energy policy.
You know, and to that, there's a lot of people in Washington that even Republicans who don't totally get that. People sometimes talk about the uniparty. There is a party of power. It's sometimes both Republicans and Democrats who stand in the way of what some would call an America First movement, but basically where we take pride in our country and we put our country first. How do we get to that where people start understanding that's what so many working class people in America, they want, they expect, they demand?
Right. Because that's the will of the people. And our elected officials, our government, is supposed to be working for the people. So they're just not doing their job. And that uniparty, you know, when we both served as governors, it wasn't nearly as blatant, I think, as it is now. You know, you could see the different sides and you would try to judge the sides based on policy. But now there is a uniparty. And this uniparty will not put America first. They are handing us over to globalists because their ultimate mission is control of the people and a one world government.
Yeah.
So America first has got to be it if we want our solvency and our sovereignty protected. What they're doing is, like Barack Obama promised us, fundamentally transforming America
Yeah.
into something that we don't recognize.
There's this amazing use of government agencies to go after the political opponents of the current administration. That's frightening to me.
That's our system of law, the judiciary being weaponized against a political enemy. And it's unprecedented, of course, what's going on now. But Governor, do you see too that what is being accepted today, accepted as, at least through the media's mouthpiece, making people think that it should be accepted, it would not have been accepted even a year ago. Maybe even 6 months ago, we would be baffled and we would be outraged at what's going on. But it's an indication of the rapidity of how fast America is changing. The trajectory that we're on, which isn't good, is happening too fast. So we need to take it back and just wait until people who just want to be left alone, wait until they start getting involved. Because they're not going to put up with what's going on anymore. We wake up every day, I'm sure, and we think, oh gosh, it can't get any weirder, it can't get any worse. And then it does.
Yeah.
It does. So there's hope, though. We have an election coming up, and we should never put all of our faith in a person, because a politician is going to let you down. But what that person can represent and speak on behalf of the people, we have hope that there's good change coming.
Alaska is a state where people really do want to just be left alone. And that's a very independent state. There's got to be some frustration in your home state of Alaska when people see a government that wants to tell us what we can and cannot see, what news is okay. When you have anchors on a news station saying, we're not going to let you hear this politician speak because we don't think you will like what he says. And I'm thinking, well, if it's as bad as you say, turn him loose and we'll all figure it out.
Right.
I don't get that.
Right. And I love your common sense. And I love the way that you articulate, too, the things that I think so many people are thinking and saying. It's such a disrespect for the wisdom of the people when the media does what they're doing today. It's catching up with them, though. So many people have been awakened to their agenda, the left wing of our country, and of course the media, which is the left wing. And people are saying enough is enough, and they're becoming quite active. Look at what's going on in Texas today with the border issue.
Yes.
Texans are rising up and saying it's been going on too long, this invasion of our country. And, they're doing something about it. And that's just one example, of people rising up and saying, no, we want to put our country first. We want our citizens, our children protected. We want our solvency now protected.
Who would have ever imagined that our own federal government would essentially say, we're not going to protect our borders, and if you try to, it's not that we're going to stop the illegal immigration, we're going to stop the people who are trying to stop the illegal immigration.
So that's an example right there of, can you imagine this a year ago? I don't think we would fathom that such a thing would be going on 6 months ago. But now in the last couple of days, we see, no, the people who are trying to secure our border for our sake, they're the ones punished. They're the ones who are being told, you're wrong, we're going to open. We don't have a border right now.
No.
And without a border, you don't have a country. We know this. They know this. That's the problem. The people who are pulling this, they know what the problem is too, and they know what the result will be. That's the scary thing.
26 governors around the country have said we're standing with Texas. I think it's pretty significant. You and I were governors during part of the same time. If something like this had happened, I think we would have also seen that other states would have said, if this can happen to Texas, it will happen to us if we don't stand. But are you proud of and thrilled to see these other states immediately surrounding Governor Abbott in Texas and saying, you're not standing alone, we're with you?
Absolutely. And that's the United States. And we need to see more of that. It's unfortunate that it takes these tragedies and these stupid decisions by government and these mistakes and purposeful errors being made for us to be united and to rise up. But that's what's happening. And no, we are going to see that change. We love our country enough. We care about the next generation, about our children enough to put it all on the line. I know you do, and that's why you have served these years. And We've got nothing to lose but get out there and fight for what's right.
By the way, I want to mention to our audience, that backstage, you met some of our other guests. One of our other guests that'll be on the show a little later happens to be a bird. We call him Al Gore, but we have a photo of you backstage holding. Now, we're going to tell everybody that if you want to see Sarah Palin holding and controlling Al Gore, this is a real owl, and you have now mastered how to control Owl Gore. How about that? Thank you very much for showing it can be done.
I'll take it. Yes.
Okay, will you ever think about running for office again?
Yes,
is that something you keep open?
And you know, logistically now in my life, the practical aspects of campaigning and serving, I'm in a pretty luxurious position. I have 5 kids. The oldest 4, they're grown. They have wonderful partners and wonderful families. And I have my youngest, Trig.
Yeah.
He has Down syndrome, so he's always going to be with me. Man, God gave him so that I
Beautiful
always have
child.
a best friend.
Beautiful child.
You know? So logistically speaking, even, I can do it. I'm willing and I'm able to do it. It is all a matter of, you know, where does one fit in filling a need that is out there? Because, yeah, I would love to. Like you know, that it's in my spirit is to serve, and it's what I'm passionate about. And yeah, our country, I'll do whatever I can.
If you throw your hat in the ring, I'll be one of the first people to come to Alaska and campaign with you and for you. I hope you will consider getting back in the game.
Thank you. Yeah.
Because you brought a level of excitement to so many people across this country. You spoke the language of people that cared, and I really hope that that is something you will consider. And I'm not kidding.
Well, if you go up there, go up June or July.
Yes, definitely.
It was 45 below this morning in Fairbanks, and yeah.
Yeah, no thanks. I think
And
I'll
you
come
guys,
in the summer.
You know, I was supposed to be on last week, but y'all canceled because you had a snowstorm.
Yes, we did. You would have felt at home.
I was Googling it, going, what?
It was only 9 inches of snow, but that shut us down. Governor Palin, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you, and especially for coming to be on the show. It's a joy to see you again, and I'm happy to hear that you are still thinking about staying in the game, because America needs you now maybe more than ever, and we're grateful to have you here. Thank you. Governor Sarah Palin is active on social media, and you should follow her. We have all the links for you at Huckabee.tv. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I hope you will now. The button is just below this video, and there's a little bell next to it. If you click on those, YouTube will reluctantly start letting you know when we've got a new video uploaded.